Hello. How's it
Hello.
Let's
going?
go. So,
All right.
Sky, I just wanted to. Jamie and I are kind of catching up on this week. He's had kind of a crazy run, and the
I
reason we
saw that.
called you is Jamie's kind of a kite nerd. He's currently sponsored by Kite Mana, which lets him pick any kite off the shelf he wants.
Yep.
And this week for the Lords of Tram, he used the Rebel D Lab, and then for these big air sessions afterward, he's been using it. Um, I spoke briefly with Lassa when I was in Cape Town about Lassa's involvement in that kite design. I don't know the whole story, and I don't know the significance of the gray one versus the blue one, and what's different about the blue one. But
Yeah.
everything we've seen about the blue one so far in Cape Town and now here in France is working pretty well. So I just thought we'd take a minute. If there's any questions Jamie has for you or you have for Jamie about that kite, I just think it'd be a cool little segment. So
um, sure. Well, I mean, first of all, I guess I could start about talking a little bit about what's different about that kite. Obviously, the material is different. We were using Alula Gold before, and now we're using the new D-Tex Alula. So, Jamie, I think you rode both of them, so you probably felt the difference. The new
Yeah,
Alula's more flexible. You can change. You can manipulate the kite more when you steer it. It's faster steering. It has some different properties than the Alula Gold. Not quite as stiff, not as rigid. So I think that opens up the kite a little more to being able, like when you take off, you can get it above your head and you can really like flick it at the last minute and get kind of a more aggressive takeoff. Just some things like that. But yeah, that's the main difference. Well, there's also differences in the shape of the kite. Now that I think more about it, but the main difference that everyone will notice is the material. So yeah, I was really stoked to see you doing so well on that kite, Jamie.
yeah.
And we've never actually spoken, you and I. I kind of saw you briefly in Cape Town as I walked by when I was there a few months ago, but we've never talked about the kite. So um, yeah, it's cool for me to just see you riding that kite. I'm like, okay. And I kind of wanted to reach out and say something, be like, hey, congratulations. So yeah, congrats. It's been awesome. So
Yeah.
what have you been feeling? Maybe tell me your perspective.
It it has been an amazing days here on the new kite because yes, I was riding the old Rebel D-Lab before this, but at some point also in competition I was struggling a bit when the wind got super strong, and also to get the right kite angles because it was also a kite for 24-meter lines. Um,
Right.
but now with the new Rebel D-Lab, it's it's just a lot easier also because of the 22-meter lines to get it above your head when the wind really picks up. And I also have the feeling that I can get even more pressure out of the kite because of the little bit less stiff frame. Because a stiff
Right.
frame is not always good to build pressure and also in gusty winds. I also like a frame that's a little bit less stiff because you feel the gust a bit less in the kite. It's a bit more controllable because the kite can flex with it. So
Right.
yeah, both in competitions while going technical and going for the high jumps, it has really helped me to do better. And also today with the control, it was gusting up to 60, 65. I think today I did 40 jumps in these crazy conditions, super choppy landings. I haven't crashed a singular jump with the kite. I haven't crashed any of them. Landed everything.
Wow.
If I would have ridden like some of the kites that I've been riding here before, that would have been impossible to land all the jumps. So for me, the kite is working
Right.
really well.
That's great to hear. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we put a
Yeah.
lot of work into this kite, and obviously, like the Rebel is a kite I've been working on for a lot of years, and so it's a lot of changes have come over the last couple years. Once we switched to Alula, and now with the new version of Alula, and we're really just trying to refine all the details as much as we can. So one thing we wanted to make the kite do better was to take off more vertical compared to last year's kite. So it lasted like the Alula Gold version had, I'm sure you felt like a tendency to sit kind of deep in the window when you took off, so it would kind of pull you more downwind.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something I really wanted to improve with the new one. And so when I saw your world record jump, I was like, oh yeah, the kite jumps pretty vertical. Looks like.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so
True.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like we
That
managed to make
was
it jump a little more
yeah. That
vertical.
with the old one, that was also my biggest problem. Not in the low end, but
Yeah,
as soon as you reach the high end, at one point the kite just stopped working. It would only pull forward at the takeoff. You could not go vertical anymore. And also one
yeah,
thing, the old 7 meter, um, I couldn't land my tricks with it. I was just crashing every time. It was jumping high, but that was the only thing it was doing. And now with the new 7
right,
meter, the 7 meter is almost my favorite size, and it's all changed up. And I've been riding the 7, 8, 9, and 10 right now, and I'm liking all the sizes, even the 10. I was super impressed with the 10 because it's super fast, and also yeah, what you told about with the improvement of the vertical lift. Also,
yeah,
when you pick a 10-meter kite in strong winds, you try to jump vertical when the wind gets strong. It doesn't work anymore. Normally a 10 is always a kite. It can do kind of everything a little bit, but it's not really doing anything good. And with this 10,
right,
I really felt like, okay, it makes sense to go on this 10 meter instead of going on my 9 meter in like, I would say 25 knots, 23 knots. It's like it makes sense to fly it.
right. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time. We spend a lot of time on all of our kites testing them, but particularly with this kite, like we really tried to dial in all of the sizes so that they really made sense. Where last year's Rebel was so new, I think there were definitely sizes that shined. Like I felt like last year the 8 was really good, and some of the other sizes, were maybe not quite as dialed in. And I think we had enough time, and we really took our time to make sure, especially the small sizes. I feel like like even I was kind of pushing to even go for a 6. I don't know if you'd ever have the need for a Revel D Lab 6, but I think a 6 could actually be a really
I
good kite
I
for
do
like a
have
storm
it.
kite.
I do have the
Yeah.
6, but haven't tested it yet because today maybe it was gusting up to 60 knots, but then I'm still riding the 7, so I will only switch to the 6
Okay.
when it's above 65 or above 60 knots.
Yeah, it's cool to talk to you about it because we've never crossed paths. Like we've never
No,
talked about kites, and I've been watching you obviously ride the kites over the year. And I saw the interview you did with Kite Mana talking about how you like the kite, and I was kind of blown away. I was like, "Whoa, Jamie chose to ride my kite. That's awesome." So
yeah,
yeah, congrats! It looks like you killed it in the contest. Looks like the kites were working really well for you. Was that today that you jumped 43 meters, or yesterday?
I jumped 42.3 today, and 2 days ago I did 38.8.
Oh, so today you jumped even higher. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
We just woke
today
up
I
here
did
in
the record.
Maui. Oh, okay, okay. So it's still morning here. I haven't caught up on all my Instagram news yet. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
It's
insane.
evening
Okay,
here.
so okay, I only saw the 38-meter jump, I think. So 42,
Yeah,
43. That's even
it
more
happened
insane.
today.
Okay. Awesome. Congrats, man. Sweet.
Thank you.
Cool. I know you don't ride for us. So feel free to give me feedback if you want to, but I'm always open to hear any feedback that you would like to see in the next kites if that's something you're willing to offer.
Of
So
course,
yeah, I'm always
I
here
I
to get your
always
feedback.
like I always like to say something and can like being able to say something for a future product. It's always a good feeling.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sky, I
Crazy.
have a quick one for
Yeah.
you. When you watch these kind of these big air contests, what tricks and what riding styles stand out to you as a fan of the sport or like a designer? Like what do you think is the most kind of extreme version of kiting right now.
All the stuff the guys are doing is all super extreme, so it's all really impressive. I've always been a fan of like really I really like the single loops. I really like the super high dynamic, kite low, guys getting pulled sideways through the air. I really like the sort of functional spins and maneuvers where the guys are, whether it's a board off or just doing like a big laid out, spin. I I like to see like the guys, like a mix of guys getting completely yarded and going sideways through the air, but with a lot of body control. And I think that's something that Jamie's really good at. Like you see the kite pull him, and it kind of pulls him into a spin off axis, and just shows a lot of control and gets the board back under him and lands with control and speed. And so when you're seeing guys like kind of get yarded and dangling and spinning and swinging under the kite, it doesn't show a lot of control. So I like those big, controlled spins. It's kind of my personal style. I guess when I started kiting in the early days, back in the old school big air, when we were first doing board offs and stuff, that was kind of a style I was trying to kind of emulate, like snowboarders back then, where they just do like a functional grab and a really smooth spin and keep everything in control. Mm-hmm. And so obviously the sport's evolved a lot since then with throwing in mega loops, but it's kind of a similar approach that I had way back in the day.
Do you think that the power in the loop is being cheated at all by like the new kites? Can you tell as a fan when there's power in the loop and when it's just kind of pivoting?
You can tell. Yeah, I think you can definitely tell. And it depends on the kite, of course. Like some kites just loop with not a lot of yank. And, you can tell when a kite is really in the position where it's, it actually throws like the riders going up, and then you see them go horizontally through the sky. You can tell what the kite's doing. So, yeah, I think that's really cool. I think just to see that dynamic movement and the kite pulling you sideways, and at one point if you were to take a freeze frame, it's like, oh my god, the guy's gonna die, and then the kite gets back above him, and that's right. The beauty of it is it's like that moment of oh shit, and then you recover.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm
curious, it's impressive.
It's
insane
as a fan, like just seeing the ease at which everyone was flipping their board this weekend. Like for a minute there, we thought that was like the technical thing, and now it's like, oh, it's actually not that hard. And
true. It's really a new thing. Like this year, everyone started doing some guys started doing double flips, and now I was also doing it in competition. And before that was like, if you can land that, you're like the man in the competition. And now so many guys are just doing it at once. It's crazy how fast the progression is going.
It's crazy to do it in that amount of wind too. Like that the wind doesn't just carry your board away, but I guess you're moving together with the board at the same speed. So it's actually
exactly.
It's like there's
it's
no
staying
wind
with
because
you.
You're yeah, that's super impressive. Crazy.
So Sky, I think I appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you.
We can hear more about
you guys.
your designs in the future, because I've had a fun time just watching these kites come out and then seeing the excitement from all the riders in Cape Town and everywhere. So more to come.
It's been exciting for me too to see. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Congrats again, Jamie.
Thank you. Have a nice day.